Welcome back to the PTB Soccer Podcast here, your Sunday night home for soccer talk. And it's now time to go to the Sunday night sports book with our resident Degen, Leo Koukakis. Leo, welcome back to the Parking the Bus podcast.
What's up, Capitano? How we doing, everybody? It is a beautiful Sunday to be alive.
It sure is. It sure is. How did you enjoy the matches this week?
A lot of fun, a lot of matches. It's kind of sad though now that things are kind of winding down. All there really is now is the Chinese Super League.
Yeah, we got some European competition still to go. So we got some knockout matches. But yeah, league-wise, Chinese Super League, Australian A-League, which I'm starting to cover on this show as it's getting to its playoffs. I believe it's the 14th of August is the first day of the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. They do a real weird playoff format. A cricket style with a final and then a grand final. It's out there. It's bizarre.
Okay.
How did you enjoy? Let's start in our favorite league, the EFL Championship. How'd you like that promotion final?
I loved as much as I was able to watch. So midway through, what was it, about the 90th minute?
It was
the
in the
electricity
90th.
goes out. And luckily I have you, my friend, that calls me and he FaceTimes me so I can watch the end of the game.
I literally, guys, put my phone up to my computer screen so that he could see what was going on.
My girlfriend was thrilled. She was overjoyed. She realized that she needs a friend like you in her life.
Hey, that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. That's why you call me the Capitano, right?
That's right. That's right, buddy.
So it's Fulham. Yeah, it's Fulham going on to the Premier League. The Premier League lineup now is complete. We got all 20 teams for next season, and it is Fulham returning 1 year later. What do you think their odds are this time? Are they staying up, or is Fulham going to be back in the championship this time?
So right now they're currently listed around -155 to go back down.
Mm-hmm.
They're the favorites to be relegated next year for obvious reasons.
That's normal with the playoff winner.
Yeah, the only team that's going to get promoted that isn't in that top five is Leeds.
Yeah.
Leeds actually has a huge price to go back down at +450. So people are kind of expecting them to maybe be mid-table, maybe even make a little bit more of a jump up to the upper table.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are comparing Leeds to Wolves from 2 seasons ago. They're seeing that, they're expecting that same kind of success rate once they get up.
Yep.
So the man of the match, our left back, Joe Bryan. Did you see that coming?
What a stupid goal. I mean, everybody's going crazy about it. You went crazy about it, too. And I rewatched it, and I go, why is anybody giving this guy credit? What about the goalie, you idiot?
He froze the keeper, like they say in ice hockey.
What is the matter with you? I literally watched it like 5 times. Like, no, I have to be missing something. This was that. Was there a lot of bend on? I watched, and the guy.
Honestly, that's the most I've ever seen a keeper cheat on a cross. Like, he literally didn't even believe that the ball was going anywhere else as he watched it go into the goal.
Do you think that Joe Bryan did that on purpose? Because I'm not overly convinced.
A lot of people do.
I mean, yeah, maybe, but like he could have easily just mishit it. It's like one of those shots that you just kind of throw up in basketball when you're just like messing around, and you're like, yeah, I meant to do that. Like,
I'll tell you one thing, Leo. My senior year in high school, we were playing a local powerhouse, Algonquin Regional, right? First game of the season, night game. I had a goal sort of like that, except mine was right-footed, but from almost at the touchline. And everyone and their mother thought I was crossing it. And maybe I was, maybe I wasn't. That's for me to know and everybody else to assume. It's been almost 20 years. I still claim that I shot that. That thing went in the air, right? And I could see. Now, my dad's my head coach. I can see at the bench, and he's already thrown his arms down like, what did you do with that for, you know? I can see the fans watching it. They're like, their eyes are up in the air. And all of a sudden, that thing takes a nosedive into the top corner.
Oh, phenomenal.
And for 20 years, I've played it off like it's exactly what I meant to do. Exactly, and only I know if I meant to do it or not.
That's right. And you know what? Even we all know the truth, Capitano. That being said, in your position, deny.
Exactly.
Meant to do it.
Exactly. It's my claim to fame.
Oh, man.
Brentford. Let's talk about Brentford for a second. The heartbreak this year that was Brentford's last month of the season. They were like basically assured of going up with 3 matches to go. They put themselves in a situation where it's a winner-take-all playoff and, extra time. is what it is, and they find themselves on the wrong side of the result.
I thought the way that game was going, and then the second that Mitrovic wasn't in the starting lineup, I said to myself, boy, did Fulham just cost themselves a chance, especially the way they came back against Swansea, too, with that 3-1 performance.
Sure, you expect the momentum to be carrying them into this match.
A little bit, yeah, and especially without Mitrovic. Like, I can't understate how big of a player Mitrovic is for Fulham. And just they couldn't score a goal. For us and for our podcast, it worked out great. Yeah. But there was definitely some heartbreak there for him.
Yeah, and I mean, now the talk overseas, across the pond, I've listened to like BBC 5 and Talk Sport, things like that. They're talking about Brentford's going to have a hard time keeping this team together. There's Premier League clubs looking at some of these players ready to snatch them up. It may not be so easy for Brentford to be back in this spot next year.
Just brutal, man. This was their chance. They blew it. I mean, it's that simple now. Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows? Like they said, you lose a couple key players, you're not coming back. You're not going to – that's a really, really tough league to get promoted in.
Absolutely. And who do you think of the 3 teams being dropped from the Premiership? Who's best suited to come back up? Is it Bournemouth for you?
Bournemouth, Norwich, and who's the third team? Watford.
And Norwich has made a living of going up and down for the last 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of lean toward Norwich, though. I mean, I'm not a huge Bournemouth guy. They're going to lose Josh King, probably lose Colin Wilson over the summer as well.
Eddie Howe's gone,
Fraser,
the manager.
Yep, Eddie Howe's gone. I felt like they were overshooting for years. I felt like it was just kind of –
yeah, you might not be wrong about that.
Yeah, so, I mean, the team that's kind of built more – it really depends on who stays, who goes. Like, I look at Watford and say, yeah, okay. Still have De La Feu, still have Troy Deeney, still have plenty. Ismail Sarr is going to be gone, though. I was reading rumors about him. So, I mean, out of the 3, probably Norwich, if they can keep Pukki and, keep their left backs and right backs. Also, heard that Liverpool's aiming for the left back on Norwich. Didn't end up getting him. So, they end up going to sign Simaki from Greece.
There you go.
Yeah.
What club was he at in Greece?
Yeah, the one that we don't like to talk about.
Well, unfortunately, that's where we're going next. Europa League. Well, let's start with Wolves and Olympiacos, since you don't want to mention that club. Well, I won't even make you say that name. What'd you think of that match?
Just so sad that they're out. Such an upstanding team.
Oh, I know you're crushed.
Such an easy team to root for. I'm so happy Wolves knocked them out. Oh, it was glorious. It was triumphant. It was great.
What'd you think of the penalty call?
I thought it was the right call.
I thought it was too. I'm a little partial to Wolves. Everyone who follows me knows I have a little sweet spot for them for some obvious reasons. They're basically the Portuguese national team in a club competition. But and it was a former Olympiacos player, Daniel Podence, gets taken down for that penalty.
I know.
And then, of course, a striker I'm very familiar with, Raul Jimenez, finishes calmly in that penalty kick.
Just beautiful. In the fact that VAR went against them too.
Well, that was where I was going next. The VAR call. Was that
so
on
beautiful?
Was it El Arabi that was offside, or was that Valbuena? I don't remember anymore.
I think it was El Arabi.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think on the Europa League review show I said it was Valbuena, but I believe it was El Arabi.
Just so much joy in my heart watching those guys lose. For those of you that don't really follow it, it's as if Benfica watched Porto lose.
That's always listen, I have a whole bag of scarves over there of teams that have knocked Porto out of Europe the last 10 years. I've got a Malaga, I got Wolfsburg, I've got them all. If you knock Porto out, I go buy your scarf. That's just the rule.
Yeah, I was really annoyed though, because that game was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it was, and it could have if that goal stands, it's 1-1. Anybody's game at that point. Actually, you'd have to. It would have been a tough situation for Wolves with so much time left, knowing they can't give up another away goal.
Right. Yeah, but I'm glad the way it played out. Bye-bye.
So Wolves have their hands full now. They got probably the toughest draw going forward, because now they're going to play Sevilla. And Sevilla took care of Roma pretty easily. A little bit disappointing from, I think, the effort from the Italian side, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely. But to be fair, Sevilla have been so good since coming out of the restart.
Yeah.
We didn't really mention them last week. We did mention how Wolves were one of my favorite teams to get to
Sure.
win the whole thing,
Yeah.
plus 650. But Sevilla is another team. This is really, really good team. They have one of the most underrated players that's been absolutely on fire since the restart, and Lucas Ocampos. That dude just cannot stop scoring. He cannot stop creating goals. One of my favorite players in Europe right now. So, I mean, Wolves is going to have their hands full. They're going to need everybody to kind of come together. It's going to be a huge, huge game, but I still kind of like Wolves to get out of it, but it wouldn't shock me at all if Ocampos comes out and scores a hat trick.
And if Wolves do survive this test on Tuesday with Sevilla, they likely have Manchester United right after that, because Manchester United taking on Copenhagen in the next round.
Yeah, that's going to be a phenomenal final. Final or semifinal?
It'll be a semifinal.
Semifinal, sorry. Yeah, that's another one. These teams have already met a couple times this year. They played after the restart, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, you've already played in front of an empty stadium. You're used to the conditions now.
They also played in the FA Cup this year, so they've got an extra match. They've played, I believe, 3 times already this season. This would be a 4th matchup between these two.
Yeah, I'm absolutely giving the nudge there to Wolves, though.
Are you?
Because
okay.
Manchester United don't really need it. Did you see
you're right. You make a good point. I mean, they said on BBC 5 that Wolves' season will be a minimum 384 days when they take the pitch on Tuesday, which is a long season. But they're playing. They have everything to play for. This is all, their entire season next year relies on winning this Europa League and getting into the Champions League. It's Champions League or nothing for them now at this situation. Whereas United already in Champions League play. So you're right. It could be that they're just more motivated and they find a way to get through.
More importantly, Champions League may be their only way to hold on to Adama Traore too.
Oh, yeah, and Raul Jimenez.
Yep. Yeah, Traore and Jimenez probably gone regardless, but if they have any type of chance, they go
into Champions League, they can probably convince them to stay. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so
because I believe as Europa League winners, they go straight into the group phase too. They don't have to play in one of the playoff rounds.
Yep.
Also in this competition, we got Inter beating Getafe. Inter, one of the other favorites. What do you think about Inter's chances?
I'm a huge fan of Inter. I love Inter's chances in this one. Especially the key for me is that Lautaro Martinez has to be in there.
Mm-hmm.
If Lautaro Martinez is in there, Inter have as good a chance as any. I love the back, how they have it set up with Handanovic, another really, really quality goalie. Bill, Skinar, Diego Godin. That's a really, really underrated team. I'm kind of surprised though Christian Eriksen's kind of taken on the role of a super sub.
Yeah, he's been coming off the bench. He came off the bench this past round. Formidable attack though with Lautaro Martinez and Romelu Lukaku teaming up top.
And you know who else has been really good? D'Ambrosio.
Yeah.
That dude just keeps popping up in random places.
Yeah.
I watched the game against Atalanta, the game before that. Every game I watch with this dude, he pops up in the right place and he creates a goal.
And I think because Sevilla, Wolves, and United are on the other side of the bracket, you have to fancy Inter to get to the final at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? Antonio Conte, when it comes to the final, he's going to pack stuff in. He's going to be ready to go.
Yeah.
We kind of talked last week how Atletico Madrid are kind of set up for the Champions League. Their style of play, similar situation with Inter.
A one game single elimination tournament suits them certainly.
Yep.
All right, we're going to move to the Champions League now. We've got some heavy hitters are gone. I see you smiling. You're a Man City fan. You don't have to hide it. Let's start there. What did you tell me? What your first reactions were of Man City when Pep released the team sheet?
Jesus Christ! What are we doing? What are we doing, Pep? Pep, what are you doing to me, dude?
And what did I remind you? What did I remind you of as soon as you said that?
That I said the same thing before the first leg.
Yeah, back in February.
First leg, I was yelling at you literally all day. I was so mad.
You were pissed.
But yeah, I mean, all year we're waiting for Phil Foden. We've played roughly 10, 11 useless games. No Phil Foden, minimum Phil Foden, coming off the bench. Today, the biggest game of the year. Throw the kid in there. Let's see what he's got. Not just that, but we don't even start him on the wing. We start Gabriel. We start Gabriel on the wing. We put Phil Foden in the middle.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
But it all worked out. How about Real Madrid's backline there. Varane giving a couple gifts away there.
Jesus,
You know what I said? I literally texted my father when that happened, and I said, I thought this stuff only happens to Benfica. That first goal.
Thanks, dude. Thank you. Thank you for settling my nerves a little bit.
Yeah.
I was very, very nervous. I was mentally preparing all day to lose. I saw no Bernardo Silva in the lineup, and I said, oh, boy, here we go. But thankfully, Rafa Varane, I really appreciate it. I don't know who paid you, dude, but I appreciate it.
So we'll move on to another big result, bit of a shock result, although the first leg had them set up well for it. It is Olympique Lyon moving on and knocking out La Vecchia Signora, knocking out Juventus, and Maurizio Sarri gets sacked.
Yeah, crazy stuff. I mean, if you listen to our podcast, Degens United, I was all over Lyon in that game.
Yeah.
I love the way that they played against Paris, and I said they're going to be set up.
Did you have Lyon to advance or to win?
I had Lyon +1, and then personally, I ended up taking them to advance too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I love Lyon in that matchup. I thought it was really, really interesting. Depay and Dembele up top; those guys can be game breakers against anybody.
Depay's had a good season, and I saw him earlier in the group stages, and Anthony Lopes has been good in goal as well as we saw in the Coupe de la Ligue final with PSG, and Lyon were just prepared. They were ready. They did what they had to do. And how about Juventus? Ever since Ronaldo has joined Juventus, no one else has scored a goal in the knockout stage of the Champions League.
Brutal to watch. You got to feel like Ronaldo. Yeah. I'm not sure how much validity there is to it, but I was reading a rumor. It could have just been something on Twitter that Ronaldo's already regretting Juventus and wants to go to Paris over the summer.
That was floating around about a week ago. Or what I read in Portuguese media, he was worded a little differently. It was that he's open to leaving, because I know Juventus is a little bit unsure of how they're going to handle that salary now and without in the COVID era. But I think by sacking Sarri, they're planning to keep Ronaldo.
I mean, I hope so. Otherwise, that'd be a real kick in Pirlo's coconut.
Oh yeah, that would certainly. So you said the name there, Andrea Pirlo. Rumored or is it confirmed? The new manager.
It is confirmed. Andrea Pirlo will be the new manager of Juventus.
I'm excited to see that too.
It's really weird for me because like we're watching Zidane with Real Madrid.
Yeah.
We're watching Frank Lampard with Chelsea, and now Andrea Pirlo. I mean, I don't know why Pirlo wouldn't want to coach NYCFC after his stint there. But yeah, really.
Yeah, that was definitely weird. The memorable part of his career. Why wouldn't you want to?
Yeah, absolutely. Guy was ripping passes over at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, he was running down the third baseline while to take corner kicks.
Man, we really do take every chance to take a shot at the MLS.
I don't do it on purpose. Hey, we'll get to it, but I give him credit when credit is deserved as well. And so we've got Pirlo taking over at Juventus. Okay, we know that Pjanic is out; he's going to Barcelona. Artur is coming in. Do you think Juventus has enough here to make a run at the Champions League next year, or they got to go to the market and get some more help for Ronaldo
to win it?
Yeah,
no,
because that's ultimately what Pirlo is going to be judged on.
Nope. Who's their striker outside of Ronaldo?
That's a big problem.
Yeah. Gonzalo.
They had one called Mandzukic, but Higuain. We know how he is in big matches.
Oh man. The dude is brutal. They desperately need another striker. They need something. That the defense is getting older now with Bonucci and Chiellini.
But it seems like in Italy, defenders can play into their 40s.
Yeah, but they're still getting older. At some point,
they got Matthias de Ligt in there now. That's one guy, but they do need probably another younger central defender. And Paulo Dybala's got to stay healthy. Not having him able to play from the start really, I think, did Juventus in the second leg.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge thing, but I also feel like that kind of separates the huge teams from the pretty big teams.
You're right.
One player is going to derail the entire thing,
And just imagine if Cristiano Ronaldo goes down with an injury.
The
team has become so centered on him.
Yeah.
And the idea when he came in was that Juventus were not going to need to be so centered on one player because they have such a different style, but they've basically morphed into that same kind of team Real Madrid was when he was there.
No, I don't think Real Madrid was that bad. I thought Real Madrid was pretty all right. I didn't think that they were completely about Ronaldo. This Juventus team is 100% about
Yeah.
Ronaldo. If Ronaldo's not scoring 2 goals, it's over.
They literally look for him wherever he is on the pitch, give him the ball, and then watch. That's why they've dropped so many points in Serie A down the stretch.
Yeah.
They lose the imagination, lose the creativity, and you probably see the Juventus scarf right there.
Yep, right there.
I married into a Juventus family, so I keep it. It's actually a half and half Benfica and Juventus scarf. So I do, but the point is I pay attention to them a little closer than other teams, and I did see that down the stretch. I mean, they got comfortable. They had a lead. It ended up only being a 1-point win in the Serie A this season.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I actually went back and I looked at it a couple of days ago, and I was like, 1 point, really? And then I looked at it.
It was Ronaldo scoring mostly from the penalty spot down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, that's one reason I hate golden boot races and stuff. It's like, can we get rid of the penalties from the golden boot?
It's like Michael Jordan winning an NBA scoring title strictly from the free throw line.
Yeah, it's annoying. Stop that nonsense.
All right. The other story we got in Champions League, all right, Bayern Munich eased through. They run right over Chelsea.
Stunning turn of events.
Stunning turn of events. Who would have imagined it? They've been nothing but fantastic since the restart. Bayern Munich have been machine-like, very German. So what I'm going to tell you is a lot of people in my world, in the Benfica world especially, given that we're hosting the final, this is what we get excited about. We used to win European competitions. Now we celebrate hosting them. But we want to see, I'm going to tell you, most of us want to see Manchester City take on Atletico Madrid in the final because we want to see our two golden boys, if you will. We want to see Bernardo Silva take on João Felix in the final in our stadium. This is what we celebrate these days. It's the kind of season we've had. But what do you think? Can you see that being the final?
Yeah, I mean, I really like Manchester City to get past Lyon. I think Lyon has the type of game that can give us a lot of trouble. But I do like Manchester City in that one. And then the big game between Bayern and Barcelona.
Yeah, who do you like in that?
I give Barcelona no chance. None whatsoever.
I tend to agree with you, although I have a hard time counting out Lionel Messi at any point. He has the ability, especially in a one game, to just take over. He also has the ability to absolutely disappear, which people forget to mention, which does happen also. And when he disappears, the rest of the team does not know what to do.
I think it's going to be all about Bayern in that one. Bayern is just too strong. They have Serge Gnabry, who's having a phenomenal year. Lewandowski. They still have the likes of Kingsley Coman, Mueller. They have plenty of attacking options.
Alphonso Davies.
Yep, he's been coming out of the MLS. What a fantastic talent.
Best player to ever come out of MLS, in my opinion, at least out of the academy system of the MLS, in my opinion.
Definitely. Yeah, he's been fit. On the other side of the bracket, Atletico
got Atalanta there too, right, on that side?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Atalanta last week.
The Romantics are hoping for Atalanta to go all the way here.
Yeah, once the dust kind of settled last week and I realized what I said, I was like, is Atalanta really going to get past PSG? But either way, I do like Atletico to get to the final, and then I think that the Manchester City-Bayern Munich game is going to be an absolute slugfest.
Yeah.
A lot of it's going to depend on the lineup. Do we actually put Bernardo Silva in? The biggest non-story with Manchester City is the fact that we lost Leroy Sané. Sané was the engine that made that team go. That threesome up top with Sané, Sterling, and Agüero, they were the reason why we won games. Now you've taken out Sané. Agüero's not going to be there. So, yeah, Gabriel Jesus is perfectly fine. But who else is going to fill that role? It has to be Bernardo Silva. If it's not Bernardo Silva and it's Riyad Mahrez, we're doomed. If it's Phil Foden, maybe, just maybe. But, I mean, he's just too young for the moment. You can't count on a 20-year-old in this moment.
Especially against Bayern Munich. They're very experienced, and they do not fear anybody. There's no match too big for Bayern Munich. They're like the ultra professionals.
The difference with them too is that their youth is experienced.
Yeah.
Like Joshua Kimmich, we forget because he's been around for so long.
He's been around so long.
22, 23?
Maybe 22 in his fourth or fifth season on the first team.
Yeah. I mean, he's been phenomenal. Gnabry, like we said, I think he's 24.
Yeah.
Super young, super experienced, though. They have a ton of talent like that.
And the young ones followed the veterans' lead on that team for sure.
Yeah, they've always had a really good blend, and the more and more I'm watching them, I'm saying, oh boy, this might be their year.
And lastly this week, MLS is back. We're down to the final. I gave this tournament, a lot of props last week, and I'm enjoying it. I've come out here and admitted this is the most enjoyment I've had watching MLS in a long time, especially at this time of the year in August. Usually MLS you can catch some good matches, but by the time you get to the playoffs, they're very tight matches where teams try to not lose versus trying to go to win. And you're not seeing that in this tournament. I think you're seeing teams trying to win. And so we got quite a David and Goliath kind of final. You got a very established Portland Timbers side who in the last 5 years have been there at the end in the Western Conference every season. And now you got Orlando City, who's technically playing at home or sort of playing at home. They're in their home region. They're not in their home stadium or anything like that. But they've made their way through the tournament. Nani is playing some of the best, football he's played since coming to Major League Soccer. And a lot of people are on the Orlando City train right now. They've never won anything. Is this the year? Is this the occasion for Orlando City?
I don't think so. I mean, Orlando, they've been really, really good, but I think at some point they're going to miss Tom Dwyer, who isn't expected to play in the final. Muller's been really, really good. Like you said, Nani's been really, really good. People really kind of overreacted to the LAFC win.
Sure.
Because, again, that's an LAFC team without Carlos Vela.
And it's in penalty kicks. It could have easily gone the other way.
Yeah, exactly. So in this one, I kind of like the experience. I like Portland Timbers. I still like Valeri. I still like who they have up top. I just think that they have too much to really handle for Orlando. The game is a 50-50, though. It could really go either way.
Yeah, like you said, it's a 50-50. I think, Giovanni Savarese is one of the top coaches in Major League Soccer. And he's already, they were champions, 2 seasons ago, not last season, but the season before.
Right.
Well, no, they were beaten finalists 2 seasons ago. Excuse me. They lost to Atlanta in the final. They were champions a season or two before that. So they're there at the end. A final is nothing new for Portland Timbers.
Right.
And they've got some of the best players in the league on that roster.
Right. I still think that the guy that doesn't get nearly enough credit as he deserves is Diego Valeri.
Yeah, very good
phenomenal
player. Yeah. So you're picking Portland?
Yes.
All right.
Portland is my pick in this one.
We will definitely check back in with that next week. We'll review it, and we'll have the semifinals already set by this time next week in Europa League, and I believe Champions League quarterfinals will be taking place around this time next week.
Sounds good.
So,
I look
Leo,
forward to it,
thank you for joining us again. We will catch you next week, but tell the listeners where they can find you.
Always a pleasure, my friend. And yes, you can find us Degens United. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere that you can find any of your podcast stuff. Degens United. We're doing picks and analysis on the podcast every single day. It's been a really busy slate. The last few days we've had 12 picks, 9 picks. So a ton of action. We've actually done pretty well. If you want to check out our pick history, you can always go to our website, degensunited.com. And all of our picks are listed daily. It's color-coded for you, so you can't possibly get confused. I listed in order of what time they're going to start. So, again, degensunited.com. And be sure to follow us on Twitter, degens_united. I do a lot of tweeting about lineups, about live betting. After a goal or something in hockey, I'll tweet out the live line. So it's a decent follow, so I highly recommend it.
All right. Thanks, Leo. We'll talk to you next week.
Always a pleasure, Capitano.
All right. Later.